Hello, beautiful people! Springtime has sprung, but not near Great Cleave. Winter is eternal, it just refuses to leave. If you hate the cold and want it to end, head over to the Winter Forge to take on the challenge. Put on your gear and grab 9 of your friends. This soul trial is now a group affair, so sit back, relax, and I'll help you prepare. No small talk, let's just get right down to business. We're all here for one thing anyways. This is what you need to bring to the fight. As far as gems go, you're gonna want to throw some aquamarines on your gear to protect against ice damage. We know what happens when it gets cold. For the first round, you'll want to use beast coating and ward, and for the second, you'll need to use ancient coating and ward. You're good for 2 rounds, right? If you want to put a little more oomph in your game, you can step it up by using a honing stone. Commons are fine if your cash stack is small, and brawlers are best if you're a big baller. As far as the team goes, you'll want at least 2 tanks for the first boss encounter and probably a 3rd just to be safe. Having 2 healers on the team is going to be ideal, but if you're with a god tier healer, you could probably get away with 1. It's definitely more fun with 2, like most things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now that we know what to bring, let's get to the fight. Sip your beast ward, apply your coatings, and let's go get her done. If you completed the Season 4 story quest, you'll remember this fight. It's very familiar, and that's because it didn't really change. It's just a beefier version. You don't have to do the snow puzzle at the start, which is really nice. First up, there's going to be 3 waves of mobs that you have to clear, and they shouldn't present any problem at all. The waves are on a timer, so you give it to them hard with a DPS, and then you get to relax a little before going at it again. No tanks are going to be needed in this part, just some good heals and big booty DPS. This is good old-fashioned mob clearing at its finest. So technically these mobs are ancients, but we didn't apply ancient coatings or ward because we're just gonna go fight these doggos, and that's where the real fight is, and these things just really don't matter. So this is wave 3. We're going to have a little bit of time after the wave to catch our breath before we take on the dog boss. I'm going to speed up the rest of the waves because I don't think you need any help with clearing mobs. Enjoy the music, and I'll see you when they unleash the beast. Okay, now we're at the fun part. The dog is going to come out of the cage and your main tank is going to want to go ahead and grab it. So first you only have 1 tank, tanking the dog, and everyone else DPSing, and obviously the healers are healing as healers do. And when the dog reaches half health, it's going to split into 2, and this is when your second tank should grab the new dog and pull it away from the first dog. If the dogs are next to each other, you won't be able to damage them. When they're standing next to each other, they constantly heal themselves, and it's really bad vibes. It's like hitting a brick wall with a stick of butter. That wall ain't going anywhere. The dogs have really bad separation anxiety, and it makes them weak, so get them as far apart as quickly as possible. Now you're going to see the dog actually split into 2. 1 tank is going to take it over by the gate where the dog came out from, and the other tank is going to take it closer to the side of the room where you start the fight. So what is everyone else doing during this fight? The best strategy is to have 1 tank hold a big dog by themselves and not die while the other dog is being attacked by everyone else. There's 2 healers, so 1 should focus on keeping each tank alive. The DPS should all focus on burning the same dog down and running into AoE heals when they need them. So remember earlier when I said that it's actually kind of ideal to have a 3rd tank if possible? Well, the dog everyone is attacking is going to split into 2 smaller dogs when its health gets low with the same healing mechanic, so one of the little doggies is going to need to be lured away by a 3rd tank. Okay, need is a strong word. It is way easier for a 3rd off tank to just take away a little dog for a minute. The healers need to make sure that they stay alive as well. As a healer, what I like to do is drop a sacred on the main tank and a beacon on the off tank so DPS can still get heals as well. But whatever you do to keep them alive is going to be great. Now, this can be done with 2 tanks. The lone tank would go grab a smaller doggy and bring it back to where they were and tank the big dog and small dog at the same time while the team kills the other small dog. It is a little tricky, but it can be done if the tanks are really good. Once both small dogs are dead, you get to do it all over again with the second big dog that the tank has been holding this whole time. It'll split twice, and dogs need to be grabbed and separated by tanks just like before. It's repetitive, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The more times you do it, the better you get at it, you know? I should mention you probably see these annoying little ankle biters that spawn during the fight. They pack a mean punch, so if you're getting wrecked by the puppy minions, run them over to the tanks so they can aggro them. I'm going to speed up the kill and let you watch the last dog get taken care of so you can see the splits and the lures clearly. Enjoy the music, and I'll see you at the next boss fight. Okay, welcome back. Now that the dogs have been taken care of, the ice under our feet is going to break and we fall. Just drop all the way down to the bottom and get ready for the second fight. This is where we're going to apply our ancient coatings and sip a little ancient word for extra protection. And yes, it matters. Always use protection. This boss has a few mechanics that all kind of happen at the same time, so what I'm going to do is explain all the mechanics while we're beating up the boss. First, let's talk about the fire buff. This appears as a fiery circle around the players who grab it after it spawns at the bottom of the 4 rune pillars located around the room. The buff will not spawn if you do not complete the rune puzzle. After the boss does what I call the ice spin mechanic, snowballs will appear on the ground. You have to throw the snowballs at the bottom rune of each pillar until it matches the rune above it. I'm sure that you have great aim and this is not going to be a challenge at all. Now you'll see the ice spin mechanic and snowballs appearing on the ground. When the boss stops spinning, go ahead and start picking up balls and throwing them at the runes. Everyone but the tank should help match the runes. When the fire buff spawns, DPS or healers can go grab it and bring it close to the team. This is a very cold place. You don't need me to tell you that. What happens in cold places? Well, you start to get hypothermia if you're not wearing proper protection. And I don't mean ice protection, of course we have that. I'm talking about I don't know, parkas and hats and gloves and scarves. Anyways, if left by itself, eventually your hypothermia is gonna hit too hard and you won't be able to out-heal the bleed. Who would have guessed? Hypothermia is really bad. Standing in the fire buff is going to clear your hypothermia, and that's why it's important. Real ones are going to grab the buff and run by magic and range users on their way to melee distance so they can touch the fire and clear their stacks. And I mean, if you're standing away from the team, you're going to have to run to grab fire from time to time. Don't forget or you'll regret it. So I mentioned the ice spin mechanic. Basically what happens is an ice field spawns on the ground with some safe spots where you can stand, and then the boss is going to rotate, forcing you to move with it. If you stand in the cold part of the floor, you are not going to make it. And a little hint, if you're stuck in the middle of an icy patch, don't run with it, run backwards or just stop running to get to a safe spot faster and then start running with it again. 200 IQ moves. If you don't kill the Rune Guardian fast enough, the ice spin mechanic happens, but this time there's way less safe spots to stand in. Just kill the Rune Guardian to make it stop. The next mechanic is the ice wave. I'm gonna be honest with you, I make up the names to everything when I play games, so if it has an actual name, I literally wouldn't know. You'll notice waves of blue circles on the ground starting in the center by the boss and moving outward. Just dodge forward through it and you'll be fine. Either way, if you get hit, it won't one-shot you unless your HP is way too low. Here it is now. You see, literally nothing to be worried about. And finally, there's the icicles. They are telegraphed by circles on the ground that appear right before they hit. If you see a blue circle on the ground, just move out of the way and you'll be A-okay. These icicles suck a lot because not only do they hurt, but they also slow you down a little bit. I know that was a lot of information, but basically it can be summarized as if it hurts, move out of the way. Throw balls at the runes of the pillars to spawn the fire buff, grab the buff, and touch your friends. Okay, that probably could have been worded a little better. You'll notice that minions spawn during the kill. You can kill them or ignore them. It just depends on how the team is and how the kill's going. Also, from time to time, someone's going to get trapped in an ice tomb. Hit the ice and free your friends because that tomb really hurts. So like I said, at a third of the health, the Rune Guardian is going to spawn in the center of the room and the boss is going to jump over to the side. You need to kill the Rune Guardian. You cannot ignore it. Once you get to that last phase, like anything else, you're going to want to kill it as fast as possible, dealing with all the same mechanics and also the Rune Guardian. They just keep spawning until the boss is dead. You're going to see in this kill that I was a very bad girl and I stood in the icicles and I got punished for it by being yeeted out of the encounter. Don't be like me. But it was at the end, and honestly, I like all my guides to be relatable, and what's more relatable than messing up something easy right at the end and hoping your team can finish without a healer? And that's it. Now you know how to do it. You get the Tempest Fury Great Axe artifact from the chest that drops here, and you can loot the boss 2 times each week. Oh look, I'm about to get stuck in a tomb and die. I wasn't kidding when I said it hurts. I've got nothing left to explain, but go ahead and keep watching if you want to see the rest of the kill. It all just repeats over and over again with the addition of the Rune Guardian. Hopefully you liked the guide. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, be kind to one another. See you next time, friends.